over the questions. We collect all the questions which we have been asked us online or offline, and we here is the comprehensive list. We will talk about all of them. First question is, why can't I lose weight even though I'm eating healthy? Remember, your weight is determined by your genetics, your metabolic rate, your hormones, and your lifestyle. We cannot change our genetics. We could speed up our metabolic rate with exercise and also with weight training. We could also increase food induced thermogenesis by eating foods which are high in protein, which is meat and legumes and fiber. And hormones, there is no problem with the hormones. We need to give our body mechanism time. We need to preload each meal with about 100 calories, wait for 10-15 minutes before you have main meal, and you could expect that you will be eating about 300 calories less. The difference between a hunter gatherer who was consuming 2500 calories and a modern man is 500 calories. We are consuming about 3000 calories. This will improve your muscle mass. That will lead to 10 to 15% increase in basal metabolic rate. And if you right kind of food, you and when you're home, develop a habit of doing more things at home than what we are doing. I have a patient. He's a very successful businessman. He's 81 and he's insurance agent and he runs full-time insurance company. And he told me one thing which was magical. He said every meeting he has, he puts on wireless headsets and walks. And with that, he has been able to lose weight. He's been able to stay fit and he has been enjoying beautiful, productive life even at his age. Why it is so hard to lose weight after a certain age? This is very understandable. Remember, we talked about your weight is controlled by genetics, metabolism, amount of activity, and basal metabolic rate. With age, certain things happen. If you, let's take metabolic rate, we cannot change anything with the genetics. If you are physically active and you keep up with weight training and you have a healthy amount of muscle mass, your BMR will not slow. Our problem is with age, we take fragility as a norm, not as an exception. We have ton of patients who are active even at their old age and they're full of life and vigor. Increase your muscle mass and start doing more things at home. What they found it out is the people who even do their chores at home, they meet the exercise level of 6 to 7 minutes that independently increase your longevity of life and prevent complications. What are the common mistakes people try when they are trying to lose weight? In my opinion, lack of knowledge is number one. I have, being a physician, knowing what I know, I had not put this science together for myself and I could understand everybody else. First is knowledge. Number two, understand, calculate how many calories you should consume, which is number of weight in pounds multiplied by 15. Design a balanced diet, which is no glycemic index, glycemic load, how much insulin it produces, how much inflammation it produces, and how much nutrition it has. Do not skip meals because fasting will slow your basal metabolic rate. Don't be an emotional eater. Sleep. Somebody will say, what has sleep has to do with weight? Have you had a sleepless night and you have eaten so much? Then also, once you don't sleep, next day you are fatigued, tired, you're not in control of your faculties, and you make wrong food choices. Sleep also, if you're not sleeping, you produce a hormone which is cortisol, and that leads to significant amount of weight gain and hunger. Sleep and exercise and build muscles. How does metabolism affect weight loss? I think metabolism is the factory or the machine which is running 24-hour. If you build muscle and you eat right kind of food where your body has to work hard to extract calories, meaning converting your food into glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids, if you do that, you will make this machine work significantly in your favor, and you will be boosting your metabolism, and you will help yourself by being healthy and achieving your goals. Can stress and lack of sleep impact weight loss? Absolutely. Sleep is fundamental. Full sleep is the only time when your body rests and repair. If you don't sleep, your circadian rhythm will be altered. You will be producing a lot of cortisol in the body. That will lead to more hunger, more inflammation, and everything negative which we have been talking about should not happen in the body. There was a nurses study which they followed nurses who work night shift, and they found there was significant decrease in longevity of life. And the nurses who work night shift, they have a very high rate of developing chronic medical problem. Sleep is fundamental to life. We must sleep 7 to 8 hours every day. What role do hormones play in weight loss? Hormones play a role in controlling your hunger and satiety. Once you eat or when you're hungry, there is a hormone from your stomach which is released, which is called ghrelin, which leads to cramps. That leads to stimulation of the nerves and tell your hypothalamus that you're hungry. Then you eat, the food get passed to intestine. There are two hormones which get secreted, cholecystokinin and YY, and then later on GLP and insulin is produced. These work together to feed you, maintain your energy needs and physiological needs. When energy is met, your brain sends a signal to that you're full and we should stop. We tend to ignore that signal, and then your fat cell produce two hormone, which is leptin and adiponectin, and they control your hunger and satiety. The balance between these hormones are very important. If we gain weight, unfortunately, that makes this imbalance a lot more worse than normally. How do medication affect weight loss? There are certain classes of medications which are very important in weight loss. If unfortunately you have some mental health diagnosis and you are on antipsychotic medications, they tend to lead to a lot of weight gain, but leading to due to hormone imbalance. Some antidepressants will cause you weight gain. All diabetic medications which rely on either your body to produce more insulin or you give insulin from outside, that will lead to weight gain. Insulin is the hormone which pushes the carbohydrate into the cell to burn as energy or to fat cell to store as fat. If you are bumping up insulin, you will be producing more fat. So, diabetic medications can lead to significant weight gain. Why do some diets work, others do not? Truth is, no diet works. No fat diet works on long term basis. There are very few people, less than 5% of the people, when they go on any kind of fat diet, ketogenic diet, low carb, Atkins diet, Mediterranean diet, fast diet, name anything which you could put it in. The key concept behind every diet is to create calorie deficit. Once you create calorie deficit, and if you develop a habit of regular exercise, including resistance exercise, plus eating balanced food and making your body work to extract the calories out of it, you will be able to make anything work. Make sure you are not binge eating, you are not emotional eating, sleep well. What is the impact of muscle mass on weight loss? I think muscle is the hero of our discussion today. We must build muscles. Muscle consumes for 15% more calories than any other tissue in the body. So, if you develop muscles, you will be able to increase your basal metabolic rate and you could expect weight loss. You will be healthier. How does calorie intake versus calorie burn affect weight loss? This concept has been challenged and revisited over and over. Body doesn't treat each calorie equally. As I was telling you before, if you have 100 gram of a donut, your body produces only this much insulin. And if you have 100 gram of fruit, your body may not produce any insulin. Insulin is the hormone which will store needed to store anything as a fat. So calorie in, calorie out concept, that is the one which fundamentally is not true, but it's a rough guideline. You cannot lose weight without creating calorie deficit, and calorie deficit means number of calories your body needs to live on, which is number of pounds in weight multiplied by 50. Can underlying health condition prevent weight loss? Yes. If you are producing any of those hormones which we talked about, whether producing more insulin or you have a leptin resistance or your body is not producing enough adiponectin, all these hormones will affect your weight. But this is a very small fraction of our problem. Hormones leading to weight or any medical condition preventing from weight loss is very minimal. Our biggest problem lies again in our lifestyle, in our food choices. What is the role of genetics in weight loss? Genetics is very important because genetics provide a set point. Once you're trying to lose weight, no matter what you do is you're do everything right, and suddenly you find you go back to the same level. And how you beat genetics, probably you won't. So accept yourself. Remember, our goal is to healthy at every size, and we will not chase waist size. We will not chase number of pounds. How do eating patterns and timing influence weight loss? It has been tested that timing of eating is important, and it's because of circadian rhythm of different hormones. If you eat heavy breakfast, okay lunch, and very small meal as a dinner, there is a scientific data behind it that you lose weight a lot more faster than doing skipping any other meal or doing this part of it is. It has to do with your hormone circadian rhythms, but socially we eat more in the evening and night, and that also do is a problem. I think eating late at night does contribute to about 5 to 10% of our weight. Can dehydration hinder weight loss? Absolutely. Every chemical reaction in the body needs water. You and me are 80% water. If we are not well hydrated, our chemical processes will not work. And body is nothing but a chemical factory. We are made up of 60 trillion cells, and each cell has 10,000 chemical reactions happening every minute. 60 trillion cells, and each cell 10,000 reactions happening every minute. Can you fathom the vastness of this chemical factory? And you need water. What are the psychological barriers to losing weight? Emotional eating, stress, lack of motivation, negative self image, negative self talk. Be mindful of your these negative connotations. Enjoy yourself the way you are. Goal is to be healthy at every size. What is leaky gut syndrome? Leaky gut syndrome is a condition where there is inflammation in the or the cell lining of the gut is lost their gut lining, and there is the cells are destroyed and the gut is not as a one plane unit, but it's certain things areas are divided of those cells, so these nutrients and bad actors can get into your system quickly, and they can lead to a lot of chemical reactions and problems. It is a big problem with the processed foods. If we fix our food, we will feel better. Usually patients start having either chronic diarrhea, chronic constipation, bloating, or gas. They're sensitive to many kind of foods. They're tired all the time, and a lot of skin rashes and skin conditions happen, and a lot of immune system. As we alluded before, gut microbiome is a topic, and I think it should be discussed as a organ in itself, which we will take up some other day. What is adiponectin? Adiponectin is a hormone which is released from the your fat cells. It does exactly opposite to what leptin does. Leptin is the hormone which tells your body that there is enough energy stored and we need to stop eating. Whereas adiponectin is does it promotes hunger, and it make your body consume more calories. And there is a very delicate balance between adiponectin and leptin. There is a lot of research in the past has happened where lot of they both leptin and adiponectin have been targeted in the past by the medical industry to come up with analogs. If I could give you something which acts like leptin, this means you will be satisfied and you will not consume that many calories. But unfortunately, all those trials were negative, and currently there is no supplement. Still, if you internet search it, there are a lot of supplements they are selling it in their name, but there's nothing federally approved. What are the symptoms of leptin resistance? Leptin resistance happens only once you're obese. There are certain genetic conditions where this leptin resistance can happen, but obviously you will have increased appetite because you're never satisfied. You will gain a lot of weight. You will be craving for food all the time. You'll be tired and you will not be able to lose weight. That basically looks like describing all of us, but that's a very different process in itself. But what happens is if we gain weight, there is a lot of acquired leptin resistance develop. And once we start losing weight, all these mechanisms become more effective. So nature rewards us once we lose weight. Nature starts rewarding us more by correcting these different physiological mechanisms, and then the machinery works better and more efficiently. What is low carb diet? I think we all know that, but by definition, the low carb diet is anything when we consume or restrict our calories coming out of carbohydrate to 20 to 50 grams. What basically you are trying to do is when you don't consume carbohydrates, you are banking on your body does not have to produce insulin. When your body doesn't have to produce insulin, it doesn't will not store into fat, and hopefully you will go in a ketogenic phase and you will be able to convert your fat into energies. You tend to lose some weight, but it will stop pretty soon. Your sugars will get a little bit better, your cholesterol will improve, your blood pressure will come down, but these are not common things. Why around 3 p.m. I have a slump? It is a physiological mechanism because by that time you have run out of your fuel. The way you could keep up this machinery working 24-hour basis is to balance diet, hydration, physical activity. There is no harm in taking power nap for 10 to 15 minutes. And if you have some healthy snacks like yogurt, nuts, fruits, it will pick you up and you will be able to help yourself. Can I take a vaccine during Ramadan? This was one of the question which was asked by one of our patient. I am not a Islamic scholar, but I did a lot of research. And in my research, which I found is taking vaccine during Ramadan does not break your fast. That was very personal and important question, and that's what I could find out. What is dry fasting? We know about intermittent fasting. We know about different kind of fasting, and this dry fasting is now in fashion. When we're fasting, we are not stopping to consuming liquid. What we do is we don't eat any macronutrients, but we drinking black coffee, we're drinking water. In dry fasting, basically what we're doing is for X number of hours, we don't consume anything, meaning zero, no, even not even water. And this is a very popular, if you look at it during month of Ramadan, all Islamic countries, they do dry fasting. Basically, from one fixed time to fixed time, they don't consume anything in this thing is. But it's for a short period of time. It is pretty much supervised because there's a lot of social support system is there. But if we are trying to do here in our system, I think technically it will lead to weight loss improvement and all those good things which needs to happen in the body, but I think it needs to be more studied and should not be done without supervision. Next is what is autophagy. The concept of aging is that as we are aging, the there is a lot of cells gets accumulated in the body. They are not actively participating in function, but they are just there. They are senescent and they are there. And they are the one who are producing all the markers of inflammation. This autophagy concept is that if you stress your body, where your body feels the stress either due to extreme temperatures in sauna or cold showers or prolonged fasting, you make your body to recycle these senescent cells which are inactive and leading to inflammation. That leads to a lot of cellular repair, reduced inflammation, and chronic inflammation. This is a very big concept, and we will take up and understand it more in future. Overall, in this podcast, what I wanted to kind of answer or put together is we need to love ourselves the way they are. We need to shoot for health, not for size or body image. We are genetically pre programmed to be one way, but we are not doomed to be genetically cursed to be one way. We can definitely change if we understand our diet, we understand different hacks which we went over, our hormonal system, and also how to speed up our metabolic rate and certain do's and don'ts which we have discussed. I hope this was helpful. My attempt was to provide you underlying physiology, mechanisms, societal changes, how our evolution and evolutionary preferences are hampering us these days. My name is Dr. Kulmeet Kundlas, and we have a channel, Kundlas MD. I will appreciate if you could like, share, and subscribe to our channel and other social media platforms. Thank you very much. I will see you in next podcast.